At 2 in the morning, Mark sat in his dark living room, staring at a list he'd written 3 years ago. It was a list of everything he was going to do, the business he'd start, the body he'd build, the person he'd become. But as he looked at his reflection in the black TV screen, he realized something terrifying. He wasn't just lazy. He was being murdered slowly by a version of himself that didn't exist. This is the story of how Mark killed his laziness, not with motivation, but with a secret weapon most people are too afraid to use. Mark was the king of almost. He was almost successful. He almost had a six-pack. He almost called that girl. In his mind, he was a lion, a titan of industry, a modern-day hero. But in reality, he was a guy who spent 4 hours a day scrolling through short videos of people living the life he wanted. The bitter irony wasn't lost on him. He was consuming content about taking action, while taking none himself. The problem wasn't a lack of talent or intelligence. Mark was sharp. He had good ideas. The problem was something far more insidious. He was comfortable. His couch was soft, his fridge was full, and his high-speed internet delivered just enough dopamine to keep him from feeling the real, sharp sting of his own inaction. He was living in what you might call the middle class of the soul, not miserable enough to make a drastic change, but not nearly happy enough to thrive. It's a dangerous place to live because it feels safe, but it's really a slow-motion trap. Every single morning, the same battle took place in his mind. The alarm would blare at 6 a.m., and instantly, Mark's brain would start negotiating like a seasoned diplomat. 5 more minutes, you worked hard yesterday. You deserve this. You'll just do double the work tomorrow. Laziness isn't really a lack of energy, it's a mastery of self-negotiation. And in that quiet internal courtroom, Mark was a world-class lawyer, always winning the case for his own comfort. He'd hit snooze, and with each press, he was giving up a tiny piece of his future self. The real turning point, the moment the fog began to lift, happened on a rainy Tuesday. It wasn't a motivational speech or a life-changing book, it was a phone call from his father. His dad, a man who had worked in a factory for 40 years, called him, his voice raspy from a lifetime of hard work. "Mark," he said, "I was cleaning out the attic, and I found my old journals from when I was your age. I had all these plans, son. I was going to travel the world, learn to fly a plane, start a little workshop in the garage. I kept waiting for the right time, you know? The time when I wouldn't feel so tired from the plant. Now I have all the time in the world, but my legs won't let me leave this chair." Don't let your someday become a never. After hanging up the phone, the silence in his apartment was deafening. His father's words echoed, not as a scolding, but as a warning. And in that moment, Mark had a profound realization. The so-called secret to winning laziness wasn't a new productivity app or a cold shower routine. It was the simple, brutal understanding that laziness is actually a form of arrogance. He was being arrogant. He was arrogant to assume he would always have more time. He was arrogant to assume he would have a tomorrow to fix the mistakes of today. He was treating his future as an infinite resource, when his father's call was a stark reminder that it is the most finite thing we have. That night, Mark didn't write another to-do list. He didn't set a new, ambitious goal. Instead, he decided to stop fighting laziness head-on. You can't overpower laziness with sheer willpower. It will always win the negotiation. He decided to outsmart his own biology. He implemented a 3-step kill switch that completely rewired his brain. The first step was what he called the circuit breaker. Inspired by the 5-second rule, he learned that your brain has a tiny 5-second window between the moment you have an instinct to act and the moment your brain kills that instinct with doubt, fear, or laziness. So, when the alarm went off the next morning, Mark stopped thinking. As soon as the sound hit his ears, he started counting aloud. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. On go, he physically launched his body out of bed before his brain could even begin its morning negotiation. There was no debate. The action came before the thought. He broke the circuit. The second step was the identity shift. This was a psychological hack that changed everything. He stopped focusing on the do and started focusing on the who. Instead of saying, "I want to go to the gym," he started telling himself, "I'm a person who doesn't miss workouts." This is a crucial distinction. When you frame it as something you want to do, skipping it is just a minor failure. But when you make it part of your identity skipping it feels like a betrayal of who you are. Laziness was no longer just a skip chore, it was an attack on his new identity. He wasn't just trying to be disciplined, he was a disciplined person. The third and final step was the low bar entry. Mark recognized a fundamental law of physics in his own life: static friction. The hardest part of any task isn't doing the task itself. It's starting it. So he made the starting point ridiculously easy. He stopped thinking about writing a whole book. He committed to writing just one sentence. He stopped trying to force himself to work out for an hour. He committed only to putting on his gym shoes and walking out the door. That's it. That was the only goal. But the magic is, once the shoes were on and he was outside, the laziness evaporated. He was already in motion. The secret that so many people miss is that action creates motivation, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel motivated to act. You act, and the feeling of motivation follows. 6 months later, Mark was not the same man who sat staring at his reflection in the dark. He hadn't just beaten laziness. He had fundamentally rebuilt his brain's reward system. By choosing to delay gratification, by doing the hard thing first, every single day the small, simple things in life started to feel incredible again. That first cup of coffee after a morning run tasted like a triumph. A sunset felt like a masterpiece. He had escaped the dopamine trap of endless scrolling and rediscovered the genuine pleasure of a life well lived. He finally understood that laziness is a fog. It makes everything in the distance look blurry, intimidating, and unattainable. It whispers that the journey is too long and you're too tired to start. But once you take that first step, and then another, you walk right through it. And on the other side, the air is clear, the path is visible, and you can see just how capable you've been all along. Mark didn't find some magical motivation. He found discipline. And he discovered that discipline isn't the cage he always thought it was. It's the key that unlocks the front door to the life you were meant to live. Now, as this video comes to an end, think about your own life. The version of you that achieves everything you want is currently being held hostage by the version of you that wants to stay comfortable. You don't need another inspirational video. You don't need another productivity hack. You need to stop negotiating with your own potential. The secret to winning isn't a secret at all. It's the 5-second decision to move when you'd rather stay still. So I have a challenge for you. Pick one thing, just one small thing that you've been putting off. Don't think about it. Don't analyze it. As soon as this video ends, count down from 5 and go do it, right now. Your future self will thank you for it. Thanks for watching.